to ask me anything. Now, coming to human geography, note down one simple definition of geography first. Geography deals, please don't sleep. Geography deals with the distribution of and explanation with the distribution and explanation of phenomena. I underline this word particularly. Phenomena means anything which you see on the earth's surface. Anything which is distributed on the earth's surface in geography, that is known as a phenomena. And if you do an analysis of the phenomena, there are two types of phenomena. Phenomena created by nature. Or physical forces. If you are dharmic or religious, anything created by Brahma, Allah or God, forget about science. Geographers never use these three words: Brahma, Allah or God. They say nature or physical force. So what has been created on the earth? Mountains, not by man. Natural forces. Drift of continents, by natural forces. All the rivers, they are the creation of natural forces. Ocean bodies, temperature and rainfall, climatic conditions, natural vegetation. These are the things which have been created by natural agencies, natural forces. They are known as the subject matter of physical geography. This is your physical geography. Anything created by the natural agencies, endogenetic, exogenetic forces, they are the subject matter of physical geography, and physical geography consists of 5 units of paper 1. Now the second creator is man. Man is also a creator. Chota mota Brahma ye bhi hai. He also creates. So anything created by man on the land is the subject matter of human geography. Creations of man or the phenomena which are created by man, they are the subject matter of human geography. This is the division, broader division of your paper 1. In this also you have 5 units. And the first unit is perspectives in human geography. In our simple language, that is known as geographical thought. The whole thought is not, only selected topics are in your course. But the questions are coming. If you see the papers of last few years, at least 40 marks are coming only from one unit. Perspectives in human geography. Try to add up the actually different parts. 40 marks are coming from. Worst come worst, it will be 30. But my guess it will be 40 or 50. So this becomes very deciding. And the paper setters are asking one part they are putting of perspectives in question number 6, another in question number 7, and the third part may be in question number 8. So it is not that 50 or 40 marks in one question. You cannot escape it. And it makes a difference in your total mass. We have to be careful. Now, you got the difference between physical geography and human geography. The things which have been created by endogenetic and exogenetic forces, that is the subject matter of physical geography, and anything created by man on the earth surface is the subject matter of human geography. You see, man has created settlements. Village settlement, rural settlement, urban, that is the subject matter of human geography. Man has created roads, railways, airways, seaports, subject matter of geography. Man has done agriculture. Fields have been developed by man. Nature is provided the land, but it was man, rather females, who started agriculture about 8000 BC. So man developed the fields. Irrigation is also a part of human geography because he started doing irrigation. So all these things come into the human geography, the creations of man. But let me give you a simple definition of human geography. Note down the definition of human geography. Human geography deals with the phenomena created by man on the earth surface. This is one definition. It explains the 5 units of your course, part B of your syllabus, paper 1. But even a more simple definition which is relevant to human geography is the definition. Note down. Human geography deals with the man and environment. Environment means resources. Human geography deals with the man and environment. Environment means resources, relationship. It is the simplest definition of human geography. And in this definition, there are 2 important words. One is man, the second is environment. And your course begins now. In your course, there is a topic, environmentalism. I am not starting with areal differentiation, the first topic, but I am starting with environmentalism. In this definition, 2 words have been underscored. One is man, the second is environment. Right from the beginning, the geographers who were the believer in the superiority of environment are known as the determinists. They say in the relationship of man and environment, environment is superior. Environment is active. Man is passive. So, in brief, the destiny of man is decided by the environment. If some people are advanced, it is their destiny, and destiny created by environment or resources. If some people are backward, it is because of environment. So they give the full credit only to environment. I will dictate you some points on this. If the pygmies are living at treetops in the Congo basin, it is because of environment. If the Eskimos are living in igloos in the tundra region, it is because of environment. If the people of desert are nomads, migrating in search of fodder and water, it is because of environment or resource. And if the people of some countries are advanced, it is because of the environmental conditions. In simple, this is the meaning of determinism or environmental determinism. I will be giving you the points, but listen to me first. Perhaps you know that Greeks were the first to start geography. The oldest books written were written by the Greek scholars. And there was a person known as Hecataeus. Who is known as the father of geography. About 400 BC, he wrote the first book of geography. After Homer was not he was a poet, but Hecataeus was the person who wrote the known world geography. That's why he is called as the father of geography. Another person almost contemporary was Herodotus. He is known as the father of history. They are almost contemporary. And one sentence I can give you to remember Herodotus. While writing the history of the then known world, and what was the world known to these people was around the Pacific Ocean, around the Mediterranean Sea. That was the only known world. Europe, southern part of Europe, Asia Minor or Asia, and northern part of Africa, this was the known world. And that's why you know Mediterranean is a word. It means in the middle of terrain. In the middle of, if you do the Sandhi Vichhed or break this word, the sea which lies in the middle of the land. So this sea was bounded by Europe in the north, Asia in the east, and Africa in the south. This Africa was at that time was known as Libya. So Bhumadhya Sagar is a literal translation and correct translation of Mediterranean. There was no North America, no South America, no Australia, no Antarctica. They appeared on the world map very late, during the great age of discovery. So the scholars of Greek, about 400 years back, BC, they started saying that the destiny of man is decided by the environment. And now wrote down what is the determinism. Write down. Determinism first. The point of view that physical environment controls the human activities and actions is known as determinism. Stop. Next line. According to determinists, the history of people, culture, comma, socio-economic stage of development and lifestyle are controlled by the physical environment. Next line. The determinist consider man as passive and environment active. In other words, the destiny of man is decided by the physical environment. In Hindi, in a simple language, Arjun, for you, those who are भाग्यवादी, मेरे भाग में लिखा था ये ऐसा हो गया. There is no place for efforts. कर्म को कोई स्थान नहीं. जब भाग्य और कर्म को आप देखते हैं, so it is destiny according to the determinist. No place for the human efforts. This will come as a criticism. But all the scholars of the Greek origin, scholars of Romans origin, the ancient Indian geographers, the medieval period Arab geographers, all of them were determinists. Saying if the people are backward, it is because of environment. If they are advanced, it is because of environment. The Greeks emphasize it. And among the Greeks, Hecataeus was one of them. Herodotus as a historian also wrote, and he gave a very important sentence which I missed. Egypt is the gift of Nile. This sentence was given by Herodotus, the father of history. Egypt is a desert. Rainfall is less than 15 centimeter per annum, but it is highly productive in the area where irrigation is being done on both sides. 10-12 kilometer this side, 10-12 kilometer this side. It is highly productive area. So that's why Herodotus, as early as about 400 BC, wrote that Egypt is the gift of Nile. This civilization is developing simply because. Now, coming down to Romans, because after the Greeks it was the Romans, Julius Caesar, August and others, they said Rome has an ideal location. Rome has a coastal location, and Rome is bounded from three sides by the mountains. It is not easy for anybody to attack Rome. That's why Romans are the conquerors. They conquered many parts of Europe, including Britain, Scotland. They came to India. No, sorry, not to India. They came this Asia Minor, and finally Alexander came to India. They conquered many things. They say we cannot be defeated anybody because our location is ideal. On one side we are bounded by the Mediterranean Sea. Three sides, the Rome, the city or capital, is bounded by the mountains, and we have a very strong army. A strong army cannot be defeated by any invader. They were also the determinists. The Arab geographers, they said that the Arab population can be grouped in two categories: the permanently settled population and the population which is nomads or baddus, migratory people. These migratory people are migrating in search of water and fodder, but you will find a difference in the attitude of life of the settled people. They compared the life of Syrians. You read enough about Syria. They say the life of the people of Syria, where more rainfall is recorded, they are settled population, settled agriculture, and the Baddus of Arabia, they are totally different from each other. In daily temperament, not to be written in the examination because the points which will be written I will be dictating you. The people who are living in more rainfall area, they are generally frank. They are more friendly. They have actually a sense of humor also. These are the qualities of the people where more water is available according to the Arabs. And the people who are nomads, migrating, they are very sensitive people. You cannot cut a joke with them. Their tolerance is weak. They are very fragile, under stress all the time, but they are very good host. If somebody come under their shelter, Sharan, they give protection. But after 2 days, they will ask, you have to leave. Only 2 days are enough to stay with you as a guest. As a host, we will take you as a guest only for 2 days. Then third day, you have to leave. So he compared the Arab geographers like Al-Masudi, Al-Biruni, Al-Battani. They compared the lifestyle of the people where more rainfall is recorded and where less rainfall is recorded. Coming down, not to be written in the examination, this is just the background. Kant, and Immanuel Kant. He said, why the people of Indonesia have double eyelid? उनकी आइज पर डबल आईलिड है, नीचे वाला पोर्शन ऊपर जाता है, ऊपर का नीचे आता है. He said it is because of climate. The climate of Indonesia is hot and humid, and there are so many insects. Just they protect their eyes. Though genetically it was not correct. The Mongoloid race I will be teaching you have double eyelid. उनके ऐसे करेंगे तो नीचे का हिस्सा ऊपर, ऊपर का नीचे आता है. And many students take it otherwise कि शायद कोई आंख का इशारा कर रहा है, and they are slapped. It is not actually like this. It is genetic. The Mongoloid race has double eyelid. We have single eyelid. So even Kant said that the people of Indonesia are having double eyelid to protect their eyes from the insects. Because in the equatorial climate, where temperature is high and there is almost rainfall every day, there is enormous growth of insects. They protect. So these are the points which are relevant to the ancient determinism. But in 1857, a book was published. The name of the book was Origin of Species. This book appeared in 1857. And this Charles Darwin was a mediocre. He was not very outstanding. He failed 3-4 times in MBBS. It was a 4-year course. He got this degree after 7 years. And as a courtesy of the professors, because his father was a leading medical practitioner in Edinburgh, the capital of Scotland, and was running a very big nursing home. All the professors used to visit his nursing home. They were obliged. He was paying them. But perchance the father expired. This student was not clearing his examination. But when the father expired, he cleared the MBBS. He got the degree and he started the practice. In the same nursing home where father was doing the actually medical practice in his own nursing home. But within 1 year, he was fed up of this profession. Said, all the time I am meeting the people who are suffering, crying, bleeding, coming under emergency. So it is not a good occupation. Not a good profession. I should leave this. He left. Having enough money, he traveled. He started traveling. On the basis of his long experience, an average student of medical science produced a monumental work known as Origin of Species. When he published this book, in the same year, 2 very important geographers died. One of them was Alexander von Humboldt. And his contemporary Carl Ritter. I will be talking about teleology and this cosmos of these people. Perchance both these geographers expired when this book was published. But there was no relationship between the publication and the death. They died the natural death. This you can remember. 1857 is considered as a very important year in human geography, because two leading human geographers lost their life and a new book appeared, Origin of Species. When the book Origin of Species was published, many geographers read this book and they were impressed by this book. So from here start the environmentalism. This term came into geographic literature after the publication of Origin of Species. So this is the period which you can correlate. Some students feel confused. What is the difference between determinism and environmental determinism? The environmental determinists were the disciples or followers of Charles Darwin. Charles Darwin pleaded survival of the fittest. In the environment, the fittest survives and the weak weaker, or weakest they disappear. In all societies, in all plants and animals, the birth is very large. Number of offsprings of the man are also very large, but only the fittest survive and the weakest disappear. So this book, at that time many books were not published. That was not the time like our contemporary period. You are getting so much of literature every day. किसको पढ़ें किसको ना पढ़ें, we are confused, and moreover some over ambitious student consult Googles and get more literature. More you read, more you get confused. इसलिए कम पढ़िए for getting better marks. So when this book was published, many geographers read this, and Frederick Redzil, the first professor of geography, he also read it. Frederick Redzil, who is known as the father of human geography, when he read this book was read by William Morris Davis also. My old students know it, that he applied it to non-living things. So when this book came in the market, Frederick Redzil, the first professor of geography in Germany, he went through it. In 1871, he published a book, and he was a field anthropologist or human geographer. He surveyed enough tribes of European countries, Carpathian mountains, Alps mountains, Caucasus mountains. He traveled and wrote a book, The Life of the People Living There. So the book written by him was Anthropo. The title is misnomer. Anthropogeography means human geography, according. Human geography of the tribes he traveled or visited. Now he said, in the introduction of this book, he coined two important phrases. I will explain you both. One word he used in the introduction is the Lebensraum. Means living space. Or living state. State or Rajya. He said the word Lebensraum, that state has a life like human beings. State takes birth when some thinkers or politicians decide there is an idea we should have separate state, as people are doing in these days, Gorkha land, you can say. to achieve the target? He said Levinson is expansion and applying the principle of survival of the fittest. The powerful has a right to expand the territory. If there is a powerful state, it has a right to expand and encroach upon the territory of the neighboring countries. Now it is not possible because we are governed by the UN Charter. But he said that powerful should rule over the world. Levinson means if the powerful is encroaching over the neighboring areas, ये उसका जीवन जन्म सिद्ध अधिकार. It is the nature because a bigger man, a powerful man needs more space. This is one reason. There is a lean and thin fellow, he can sleep on a narrow space, but if there is a WWA, he needs more space. Not to be written in the examinations. He said the powerful needs more space, and if he is encroaching on the territory of neighboring countries, he is justified. And secondly, the powerful should rule. Because people worship the powerful. Nobody worship the weak. If there is somebody powerful, only people will obey. Otherwise, there will be anarchy. People will not respect the chair or the highest authority. They will not obey. आपने गांव में कभी देखा है, विलेज में, कि गरीब की वाइफ को सब भाभी कहते हैं, गरीब की जोरू जने जने की भाभी, तो सब उसको भाभी करके मजाक करते हैं. और जो अमीर होता है, प्रधान होता है, उसकी वाइफ को सब दादी कहते हैं, हाथ जोड़ते हैं. ये क्यों है? क्योंकि पावर है उसके पास. ऑल दीज थिंग्स आर जस्ट टू एक्सप्लेन. सो ही सेड इफ दिस इज ए पावरफुल, he should rule over. And added some more words in this Levinson, saying that out of all the races of the world, Aryans are the superior. Aryans have their origin in the Caucasus Mountains, white race. They came from Caucasus Mountains, the mountains lying between the Black Sea and the Caspian Sea. That is Caucasia. I mean Georgia, Armenia and Azerbaijan. These are the three republics. Said that out of all the races like Negroes, Mongolites, etc., Caucasides or Aryans are superior. And among the Aryans, the Germans are the superior most. Therefore, the world should be ruled by the Germans. By chance, during his days, English people were ruling greater part of the world. They were not very happy with this. They say we are superior. We are more intelligent. We are more capable of doing war and fighting and conquering the countries. And really, Germany conquered Netherlands many times, Belgium many times, many parts of France also they won. They encroach upon this Poland, etc. They win. And if you ask any person who is from Netherlands, he will say we have a history of surrender. Whenever the Germans attacked us, we surrendered. This was the atmosphere. So Radziwill atmosphere. So Radziwill was a very strong, fanatic, staunch German, pleading for the Aryans and saying the Germans have a right to rule over the world. It is written in Levinson, and Levinson means non-living things also have life. I am a man, I have life. I take birth, I grow, pass through the stage of youth, mature, old, and then die. States also complete this cycle. States take birth, they have child problem or teething problem, they become mature, they become old, and then they disappear. It may be the Egyptian civilization, Indus Valley civilization, Mesopotamian, Sumerian, Assyrian, Chinese, any civilization appeared and disappeared. He applied this in this way. So this is one thing. If there is a short note on Levinson, you have to write that this term was coined by Frederick Radziwill in his book Anthropogeography, right? And he was influenced by Charles Darwin's book Origin of Species, who said might is right, who said survival of the fittest, and Radziwill said that like living things, the state, a non-living thing, also has a life. It takes birth, it grows, becomes child, then it becomes mature, it becomes old and disappears. In this process of cycle of life, the powerful should rule over the world. In one sentence, according to the political scientists, might is right. Lebensaram means might is right. जिसकी लाठी उसकी भैंस. किसी ने कहा ये भैंस तो मेरी है, कि आ जाओ लाठी लेके आ जाओ, जो जीतेगा उसकी भैंस. So might is right philosophy was preached by Ratzel through Lebensaram, and saying that Germans are the most powerful race, they should rule over the world, not the English people who are ruling. This was the grievance of this fellow. If there is a short note, you can explain, but if it is a short note, in the end you have to mention that at present this philosophy is not applicable, because the world countries are governed by the UNO, and the charter of the UNO says that a powerful cannot encroach over the territory of a weaker country. If some weak power conquers, then it is to be returned. It cannot be retained by this. In the end you can add these words, but it is the philosophy of might is right. And all the political scientists, they say that 50% of political science thought is in this world. It has that significance that if you see all the theories of political science, 50% of political thought is in this word, Lebensaram, which plead for the might is right. Powerful should rule and the weak should not rule over. You can write about 150 words or 120. I go for 120, 125 words. On Lebensaram, it may be a short note. I feel the concept is clear to you. If not clear, you can meet me afterwards. The course is lengthy, I have to cover. The second thing Ratzel said, similar locations. This is also a very important phrase in his book, Anthropogeography. So if this phrase is coming as a short note, again you have to take the help of Frederick Ratzel, who coined this word, saying simply that similar location lead to similar mode of life was written or given by Ratzel in his book Anthropogeography. And he was influenced by Charles Darwin. Origin of Species, 1857. These two sentences are obviously to be written. According to Ratzel, if the location of two countries is identical, note down this sentence. If the location of two countries is identical, the mode of life, the stage of development, and culture will be the same. To explain this point, Ratzel took the example from two countries. Just to elaborate his statement, similar location lead to similar mode of life, he said during his days, the two big powers of the world were Britain and Japan. These were the two big powers of that time when Ratzel was a professor. And he said the location of these two countries is identical. Both the countries geometrically are in the temperate latitudes. If you see, Britain is here and here is Japan. Both these countries are in temperate latitudes, location wise. Secondly, both the countries are mountainous. Very little plain area. Tokyo is in the plain and East Anglia is a plain area. Otherwise, both the countries are mountainous. So these people have to see outward for resources to support their population. So the second similarity between Britain and Japan, both are mountainous, little plain area. And the third similarity is both are insular. Both have insular location. They are surrounded by water. And remember, I am taking 1871, 1885, etc. At that time, there was no air force. The forces of the countries were either army or naval force. Per chance, Britain was ruling many parts of the world. And in the Pacific Ocean, it was Japan who was the main power. He said these two countries have very strong naval force. And they cannot be defeated by any power unless the invading power has a stronger naval force. It was not possible for any force at that time. So similarity of location means if the location of two countries is same type, their economy, their culture, their lifestyle will also be the same. This is the meaning of this. And in this, if it is a short note, you give the example of Britain and Japan. Very simple. I have written in my book all these things, but when you read, you get lost. Simplify that the geometric location of these two countries, the big power of that time is identical temperate latitudes. Second, from the topographical point of view, they both are mountainous, very little area for the cultivation of crop. And thirdly, both are surrounded by water. Insular location. So any invading power cannot defeat them easily because they are having very strong naval force. Now, these 3 points are to be highlighted. Remember this fellow who was an environmental determinist. The difference, some students come to me, they ask what is the difference between determinism and environmental determinism. Environmental determinism started after the origin of a species, in which the role of environment has been taken consideration, and Charles Darwin pleaded for the survival of the fittest in the struggle for life. So, to make it more simple, Lebensraum and similar location lead to similar mode of life. I will arrange this matter in this way. What is physical environment by the way? Physical environment includes many things. On this point side I will put location is an element of physical environment. Then topography.